Good morning. This is Chris. I'm Tony from Contigo. Just going to have a quick conversation really about the experience Chris has had of one of the services that Contigo provides, which is coaching. So Chris, good morning.
Morning.
Nice to see you. Tell us a little bit about what was your experience of Contigo coaching?
Well, I suppose I've been working with Contigo for the last year or so, really looking for somebody to come alongside me while I was in a really new management role, to help me understand what I was doing well, what I wasn't doing well, and to have a kind of safe and informal space to work through some of those problems at work, where you kind of need a little bit of support or need an external perspective. But more than that, the experience of having somebody come alongside you and try and help you be your best self at work, and through a series of, a combination of bits of training, bits of working through things on PowerPoint slides, and bits of talking about the real rough and tumble of what it means to be in a management position. Work through some of those things and feel supported by somebody who's not in your immediate context. So it's been it's been a kind of amazing ride being in any kind of managerial position, but to have somebody there to support you, who you can reach out to in text messages outside the sessions, but somebody who's really willing to kind of understand your context, understand the situations you're facing in the round, understand you as a person in the round, and help you navigate those waters. That's been my experience overall.
Yeah, cool. And that kind of, obviously the word Contigo is a Spanish word, and our strapline is it means with you. So what you've just described kind of, makes me feel warm and fuzzy, because it feels like we've achieved that with you. What's been the impact of that coaching at a general level? How has it helped you? What's been the impact?
I think, in some ways, I'd point you to my team. I think my team probably are in a better position to answer that question than I would be, because I think they felt the positive impact more than anybody else. And I think that's probably the right thing and the true thing for any kind of coaching situation. What it's meant for them is probably a more trusting environment, a calmer managing environment when we come across the inevitable problems and snags that happen in the world of work. But for me, then, it's probably given me a much clearer overall philosophy of what it means to manage others, of what it means to support others, and a framework for thinking about leadership that means even if you don't have every answer for every individual situation, you have a way of approaching what it means to manage and support other people. And I think really the thing that's probably I will take away as the one shining thing, Tony, is a movement in my overall approach to managing from win or lose to build and sustain. Are you trying to win, or are you trying to build? And the movement that we've been able to kind of think through in a variety of kind of live situations and scenarios means that as I go forward, I'm able to approach with a building mindset rather than a win-lose mindset. Yeah. And I think for my team, for my organization, that's meant closer working relationships, a greater level of honesty, and that's knit us together and meant that when we faced some really difficult things over the last few weeks, sure, and to see the team pull together around a crisis rather than pull apart around a crisis, I really would put that down to a change in approach that's come from our sessions.
Yeah, thank you. That's very powerful. Something that occurred to me as you were saying that is that difference between win or lose mentality, which if you look at some of the work of Carol Dweck, is about fixed mindset, right? And that build is absolutely growth mindset. And if you've adopted that and infused that into the team more, that team now has a much greater chance of ongoing sustainable success. Yeah, nice.
I think the real challenge there is, and I can't remember, Tony, if you've ever put it to me as boldly as I'm about to put it back to you.
Okay.
But I think for lots of us, we have a set of skills, and we're very effective at work, for, you know, in a particular way, and that means you get promoted to new things, and you're then running a team that's doing the things that you're very effective at. And I think it's very difficult for any individual at whatever stage of their career to come to terms with the idea that the skills that have got you to the position you're in are not necessarily demanded of you anymore in that position. Absolutely. Now you're supposed to be trying to develop those in other people. And that shift actually is quite emotionally difficult when you get a lot of identity from the world of work, which I think lots of managers do. But it has a lot of domino effects on other ways that you approach things. Do you see a team as an extra set of hands, or is the team the actual project at hand? Well, there's a whole range of questions, and I think what's been really valuable for me has been the way that we've been able to kind of tackle those questions as they've come up in real life situations.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. If you were going to speak to another organisation that were thinking about, engaging Contigo for our coaching services, why should they? What would be your thought on that?
I think I'm going to put it another way, if that's okay, Tony. You'll be used to this from our sessions. No, let's put this in there. I suppose I'd counsel against having Contigo come in unless an organisation really genuinely wants to develop a trust mindset at its heart, really genuinely wants to push power and agency through the rest of the organisation. If it wants to develop managers who want to grow and build something wonderful and sustainable over the long term, and if it's happy to see people as works in progress rather than extra pairs of hands. If an organisation really wants to buy into those 4 pillars of working, then there is, I can't think of any other set of professional people that I've come across that are able to knit those 4 concerns together. I think if an organisation isn't willing to embrace all of those things, then there's probably an add water and stir solution for them somewhere else. But I think if an organisation really wants to get to grips with increased agency across the workforce, increased trust, a sense of long-term development, and people as a resource to be fostered and grown rather than to be used up, I think Contigo would be well placed to help them.
Yeah, that's very kind of you to say, and delights me because that's our intent. So I'm glad that's the impact. Okay, well, look, thanks for your time. I'm going to ask you one final sort of closeout question. If you could point at the best thing about Contigo coaching for you personally, what would you point at? What would you say that has been?
I'd say that it's targeted nature and Contigo's ability to be personally relevant in a way that fits with a range of situations. That we all work with various tools, people-based tools, systems that are one size fits all. And I think that the one thing that I single out is Contigo's ability to meet somebody where they're at, meet them for the person that they are, not some kind of abstract idea of what a manager should be, and help us work through those issues as us, but in a way that fits with the wider world of work, wider trends in thinking about management, that's not an isolated set of I think, but that has much bigger, broader application, but can meet you where you're at as you, rather than as some kind of general idea of what a manager should or might be.
Yeah, powerful stuff. Thank you, Chris, and it has been a pleasure working with you, and I'd love to continue working with you in other ways as the future progresses. But for today, thank you. Thanks so much for your time and your thoughts. Great stuff.
Thanks, Tony.
Cheers. Bye.